Okay, so thank you for watching this video. So we say mathematics just come from numbers or start from numbers. So for numbers, we have integers like 1, 2, 3, 4, those integers. Saying integer over integer, those are fractions, right? And fraction like 3 over 4, we also can write in those decimal numbers, like 3 over 4 equal 0.75. So we have those numbers. Okay, so for fractions, we have proper or improper fractions. Like 2 over 3, we call this proper. But 3, okay, this is a proper. 11 over 3, we call this improper, not proper, right? So for this 11 over 3, we can change this. We can separate this into two parts, like 11 over 3 so equal 3 plus 2 over 3. And we can put them together sometimes, 3 and 2 over 3, right? And for those fractions, we like 12 over 14 is a fraction integer over integer, but this one we can simplify to 6 over 7. So this 6 over 7, we cannot simplify for them more. So we call those are reduced form. Okay. So for fractions operations, we have addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Right? So here, so we those denominators are not the same, so we need to have a common denominators, right? So like 3 is 5, so the common denominator is 15. So we just changing this, use common denominator 15. And 2 over 3, so 3 become 15. So this means we multiply 5. So here we should multiply 5 also, right? Okay, so for this 5 to go to 15, we multiply 3. So here, numerator, we also need to multiply by 3. So this equal 15, denominator 15. So this is equal 10 over 15 plus 12 over 15. Okay, so this become 22 over 15, right? So subtraction is also the same. We need to change the denominator, same denominator, a common denominator. So here common denominator is not multiplied together, just the so this is we say the least common denominator, smallest. So there's smallest denominator is 30. Okay, so 30. So here's 30. And so from 15 to 30, we multiply 2. So here's multiply 2 become 4. So here 10 to 30, we multiply 3. So numerator, we need to multiply 3. So this equal 4 over 9, 4 minus, so this is 5 over 30. So 5 over 30, this one we can simplify. So 1 over 6. Okay, so for division, for multiplication, is just the denominator multiplied by the denominator. So there's 2 times a, and numerator multiply numerator, denominator multiply denominator. Okay, so that's equal 16 over 15. And this division, we can change this division to multiplication. Okay, So we say just equal multiply the reciprocal for this, so 5 over 4. So this equal 10 over 12, or simplify 5 over 6. Okay. So for this problem, we want to multiply together. So here idea is one. For this one, we just changing to common denominator. We just changing this 1 to 2 over 2. Okay, so this equal 1 over 2. Then 1 minus 1 over 3, so equal 3 over 3 minus 1 over 3, so equal 2 over 3. Okay, like this. So we find this multiplication, this just equal 1 over 2 multiply 2 over 3, then 4 plus 3 over 4, let's say 3 over 4 like this. Okay, then last one 10, so we find the way, so this is 9, right? So we can cancel lots, so cancel until the 9 cancelled. So only 2 numbers left, 1, so here 1 over 10, right? Okay, so those are, we say those are simple fraction. Then we have a complex fraction. So complex fraction is just the fraction divided by fraction. So this one we can regard it as a complex fraction. This is equal, we can change division to fraction. So this is this number 2 over 3 over 4 over 5, right? So for this one, we say for this division, we can change this division to multiplication. So other way is we can understand this way. We say we regard it as a complex fraction. So to simplify those complex fraction, we don't like the 3, we don't like the 5. So we want to get rid of them. So how can we get rid of them? Just multiply 3 and 5, or together multiply 15, right? We just multiply 15. So this multiply 15, and then this multiply 15. Then we can get rid of those 2 denominators. So this multiply 15 divided 15, so this equal 5. So this equal 10, right? So 10 over 12, right? Okay, so this equal 5 over 6. So for this one, we can change this division as fraction. So this equals this number divided by this number. Okay. So here we don't like this 3, we don't like this 5. So we just multiply by 15 to get rid of them. So we just multiply 15 to each number. So this 1 minus 15, 15. And 2 over 3 multiply 15 is 10. Then 2 times 15, so then 4 over 5 multiply 15. Let's say 4 over 5 multiply 15 is 12, right? Yeah, cancels 12. Okay. So we find this numbers are equal here 25 over 18, right? Okay. So we can have those kind of problem like this number like equal which one A, B, C, D, E. So here we say we just multiply 3 and 2, so multiply 6. Okay, so let's say this one multiply by 6, right? Multiply by 6. So this is 6 minus 2, 6 minus 3, right? Just multiply by 6. Okay, so we can get this equal 4/3. Okay, so this is the way to simplify complex fractions. Okay, so we have many of those kind of problem. So let's check. Let's say so this one. So you can do this easily. So let's check this one. 114. So for this one, let's say at the first step we regard this is a complex fraction. Just check this part. So this part, okay. So we don't like this 3, so we just multiply 3. So that's equal. Let's say this equals 3, and this equals multiply 3, right? 6 plus 1. Okay, so that's equal 1. So 1 plus 3 here 7. Okay, so we don't like 7. So we just need to multiply 7. So multiply 7. So here multiply 7. Here multiply 7. Multiply 7. Okay, so with this numbers equal 7/10, right? Okay. So thing like we also can do this, like multiply 3. So we say like okay, multiply 3, multiply 3 here, multiply 3 here, multiply 3. We also can like so here we also can focus on this fraction first. Okay, but anyway, like this one, maybe we just simplify this first. Yeah. Okay. So for fractions, we want to compare which number is big. So we say if the denominator is the same, so we just need just compare the numerator. Let's say like here we say like if here's 3/10 or 10, okay, 5/10. So which is big? Or this is really easy, right? Because 5 is bigger than 3. So the question is, if the denominator is not the same, so we need to change those denominator to common denominator. Then we can compare. Okay. So if we compare two numbers, it's easy. So sometimes if we compare many numbers, like here compare 5 numbers, which one is big? So here we cannot make the common denominator, right? So for such a problem, we should try find the pattern or find a way. So we just check for those fractions what is the relationship of what we want to find the padding of those numbers. So we find those numbers that numerator denominator is one more larger than numerator, right? 2/3, 4/5. So 6. So if we have like a 10, then here 10/11, right? Like those numbers. So in general we say. So we just changing this to generally also. If this is, let's say, numerator is a, then denominator is a plus 1. Okay, so we want to find how those number changes. So we just check. Let's say check a smallest of number, like suppose a equal 1. This is 1/2, right? Then we let a become quite big. Let's say we say a goes to infinity, very, very large. Then this number become 1, right? Very close to 1. So from half to 1, so this means this number increase, like here from half to 1, so that go increase. Okay, so we say here that like let's say a equal 1, a equal 2, like so. So we can say like, oh, then we can say this number is biggest. Okay, so if we have many numbers, we want to compare which is big. So we will try to find the pattern, find what is the typical for those numbers. Okay. Okay. So now let's consider this problem. This problem, which one is largest? We want to find. Let's say, here like 3/7, 4/9. So for this 3, we find denominator is numerator multiply 2 plus 1. Like let's say 3/7 equals, if we fix 3 numerator, then denominator 7 is equal to multiply 3 plus 1, right? So 4/9 we also the same. So 4/9 equal, if we fix this numerator 4, then denominator 9 is the 2 times 4 plus 1. So we find those numbers may be like this. If numerator is a, then denominator 2a plus 1. So we find, all those 4 numbers, so it's just this form, a/2a plus 1. And for this one, so e maybe, let's say, this is not. E is, let's say, e is those number, like numerator, let's say, suppose numerator b, then this is 2b minus 1, right? 2 times 151, so minus 1, right? Okay, so the first, let's say, for the 4 numbers, which one is big? Which one biggest? So again, we just use this idea. Let's say we just check those numbers. Let's say, I'll move to here. Okay, so check those numbers, a/2a plus 1. We want to find how those numbers changes. So we just check those 2 ending numbers, like a equals smallest number, a equal 1, or a is very big, a equal infinity. So if a equal 1, this is 1/3, right? 1/3. So if a equal infinity, this a/2a plus 1. So a is very, very large. So we can forget this 1. So just a/2a, just 1/2, right? Okay, so from 1/3 to 1/2, so we know this is increase. This number increase. So we find So for A, B, C, D, so we say D is the biggest, right? Okay, so we just need to compare D and E. D and E, which number is big? Okay, so let's so for the compare the two numbers, we also can make the denominator same, common denominator. But so the denominators are too big. This is not a good way, right? So we also need to find a better way. Let's say, so we just check like a over 2a plus 1 or b over 2b minus 1, which one's big? So let's check b over 2b minus 1. So let's say if b, so we also just check thus, like if b equal 1, this equal 1, right? So if b equal infinity, this equal half. So those numbers just go down, like let's say go down from 1 to half, go down. But anyway, like those numbers are always larger than half. Okay, right? From 1 go down, go down, go down. If b equal infinity is half. So if b is not infinity, larger than half. So for those number increase from 1/30 to half. So those numbers are always less than half, right? Okay, so we find this number is biggest number. E is larger than D. Okay. Okay. So when we do some addition, fraction addition, we need to use a common denominator. So this is really easy. So as other application, we also have those kind of problem. Like in our class, those 1/3 of class like math and 3/4 like music. So at least how many students in our class? So those kind of problem, just like we have 1/3, so our total number is, suppose total number is n. So like 1/3 of total is 1/3n, and there's 3/4, 3/4n. So because 1/3n, so those are integers. So smallest n should be 12, right? This n could be 12 or could be 24, could be. So smallest n is 12, right? Okay. So now let's consider the problem. Like, so we just have like a several fraction. 2/7 students like math, and 3/5 students like sports, 1/2 like music. So what is the smallest number? So smallest number is just the common denominator for those fractions. So 7, 5, 2, and the common denominator is 70, right? Okay. So this is the common denominator. Okay. So this problem quite the same. Like some are blue, some are red or green or yellow. So 1/30 are blue. So 1/30 are blue, and 1/4 are red, 1/4 are red, and 6 of them are green. So green equals 6. Okay, so we want to find, okay, so total number, suppose total numbers n. So we say is 1/3 of total number is blue, so those are blue. And those are red, 1/4 are red. And green, we already know 6. Okay, so how can I find this n? So total n equal 6 plus this equal n, right? So from here, we can find n. Maybe so n, we have many n's. So we want to find the smallest number. Oh, no. Oh no, I made a mistake. Like yellow one, we don't know yet. So here's the blue one, red one, green one, yellow one. So we put the yellow. Suppose yellow is x. Okay. So we need we have this equation now. Blue one, 1/3a. Red one, 1/4a. Green one, 6. And yellow one, we don't know. We put x. So the question is, what is smallest number of yellow one? So we want to find. The question is find x. And x, we can have many. So we find the smallest x. Okay. So now let's solve this equation. Okay. So we put the n or x together. So we say x equal, so n minus 1. So the n minus 1/4n. So here n minus 1/3. N minus 1/4n. So equal what? So just equal 1 minus 1/3, 1/4. So that's equal, let's say 12, right? Common denominator 12. So 12 minus 4 minus 3. So 12 minus 7. So this is 5. So this equal, like this equal 5/12a. So x equal 5/12a minus 6. Okay. So what is n? So n should be 12, or like n should be 12 or 24 or 36, like this, right? So if n equal 12, then x is 5 minus 6, x negative. So x cannot be negative. So we say smallest n should equal 24. Okay. So then we put the n equal 24. We can find the x. Okay. So this is our first lecture video. So we just about half hour, right? So we can we can stop here.